Hey, Shalom, Shalom. It's your brother Rataza Allah from GMS London Camp. First and foremost, when they give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, the great millstone, and blessings to the hopeful and sincere elect. Now, current news on the wildfires that's going on over there in LA, California. You got a lot of people out there that are made homeless in the hundreds of thousands, looking for places to stay, which this is a good example of an order ab chaos scenario, which is could lead to martial law type laws, people being put in emergency housing, which would be what detention centers or your FEMA camps, because they're made homeless and nowhere to live. And that's predicted and prophesied in the scriptures. That people are going to be kicked out of their houses, so on and so forth, man, and they're going to be led into these FEMA type camp occupations. And now currently they've got tent cities over there in LA. They said a lot of homeless people and all that, and they're going through a lot of blackouts, as you can see in the live coverage here. They're going through major blackouts over there in LA. So this is a perfect time, a perfect situation for the wicked elite to exercise, a martial law. As I said, order ab chaos, order through the chaos type scenario, which will lead to, them imprinting the mark to the MOT to the B, which is the RFID hip technology in the Goyim, and branding their cattle, so to speak, man. And this is ultimately what the wicked elite want. This is why they conjured and orchestrated this event, this fire with the DEW's direct energy weapons, as they did previously in Maui, Hawaii, and they're just repeating it in different parts of the earth, different parts of the country of the US, and ultimately this is going to be a worldwide thing with it, because they want to make all these major cities into smart cities and all that, into different districts, for them to control the Goyim with the mark. And then you got guys out there, so-called Israelite leaders, that are teaching that the time of Jacob's trouble is null and void, and that we're not in the time of Jacob's trouble. It's not going to happen. Situations like this is going to lead to the time of Jacob's trouble, most definitely. Now you got these people out there in utter darkness, and nowhere to go, no one to turn to, so to speak. That's out there. There's a lot of looting and all of that going on out there, or that's been recorded. So all hell is about to break loose in America, man. This is not no time to think that America's going to be made great again. Since January the 1st, 2025, there's nothing but the destruction and bad news has been coming from over there over there in the West. It's a bad time for the West right now, man. And because the eyes of the Lord are upon the sinful kingdom, which is America, and He's about to destroy it from off the face of the earth. So this is just indicative of the times, man, that 2025 is definitely going to be a biblical year of major prophecies being fulfilled. The last major prophecies of Baratazar, man, with the MOT to the B. Definitely the time of Jacob's trouble. And then ultimately the nuclear missiles, man, to seal the deal after World War III. Because people out there just destitute, man. Straight up just living in tent cities and so on and so forth, man. There's nowhere to go. So what's going to be the alternative? Esau going to put these people in concentration camps, man. He's got all the bodies that he needs to put them in there. So this is what's going to happen, man. This is all leading to Esau's ultimate goal of a new world order, man. Or new world of disorder, as I call it. I just wanted to read a couple scriptures because they said there was major blackouts over there in LA. And you saw the footage and all that. So I just wanted to read a couple scriptures on the day of the Lord. Because the day of the Lord is going to be darkness and not light, as the Lord said. With no brightness in it. But this is, Joel 2. And I'll start from verse 1. But this is, look, the terrible visitation. Ultimately, this is talking about the nuclear missiles when it talks about the day of darkness and gloominess. But the scriptures talk about great signs from the heavens and, people being perplexed and all confused. And this is definitely the time of that, when they're in thick darkness and all of that, part of the curses. This is Joel 2 and 1. This is the terrible visitation. Blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand. And that's what we've been trying to tell Jake for the longest, man. You know, we've been warning Jake from the apostles and elders of Great Millstone on down the true, you know, prophets of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai through the Holy Spirit, the Rakah Kodash. Been warning Jake, man, because we're the real watchmen. And we're watching for the times, man, the signs of the times. And this is part of it, man. This is a day of darkness and gloominess. And of gloominess. It's a day of clouds and of thick darkness. And the morning, as the morning spread upon the mountains. A great people are strong. And this is ultimately talking about the nuclear missiles. But the day of the Lord is also going to be a day of darkness and thick and gloominess. Why? Because the nuclear smoke is going to block out the clouds, man. You know, the nuclear holocaust that's going to touch America is going to block out the sun. All of that, man. It's going to be a day of darkness, man. You know, and not light. It says, as the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people are strong. It says, there have not been ever been the either. It says, there have not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations, man. And this is, yeah, as I said, talking about the nuclear destruction, the fire that's going to devour them. You know, it says, and the fire before them and behind them a flame burneth. Which is talking about what? The nuclear missiles, how they're going to come out of the silos from one end of the earth into another. It tells you in Isaiah 13, Isaiah 34, so on and so forth. It says the land is as the Garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desert, a desolate wilderness. Yea, and nothing shall escape them. Yes, and that day of the Lord, that's why the Lord's brothers have been saying, apostles and all that, said anyone that's not on the chariots as part of the Lord's elect, you're basically going to be nuclear toast, man. Because anyone that's left on the land of America is not going to escape the nuclear holocaust, man, a nuclear fire that's going to touch that land. Because the whole of America is going to be engulfed in flames and fire. And pursuant to Revelations 19 and 20 and other verses, and America's going to become a lake on fire, man. You know, and the only men that's going to be able to see that from a bird's eye view, you know, is the elect from the chariots. They're going to see it looking down from the chariots. America, the whole of America engulfed in flames, the lake of fire, man. You know, so that's the terrible day of the Lord. You know. Then it tells you in verse 4, the appearance of them is the appearance of horses, as a horseman, so shall they run, which is talking about the ICBM missiles, as I said. So let me just jump down for the sake of time. And deliverance is only promised to the elect of Israel, man. Not promised to any other nation. You know? Let me jump down. Starting with the elect. The Bakhwaya Kodash, the holy elect, man. They're the only ones that's going to be delivered from these set perils, man. And ultimately the nuclear destruction that's coming upon America. Yeah, so let me say here, look, see, back in the day of the Lord in the heading, Joel 2 and 30 says, and I'll shew you wonders in the heavens and the earth, blood and fire and pillars of smoke. It says the sun shall be turned into darkness and the moon into blood before the great and terrible day of the Lord come. And that's exactly the times that we're coming into, man. And as I said, ultimately, this is talking about the day of the nuclear destruction. It says, and it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord, which is only the ones that are calling upon the true names of Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, is the elect, the Lord's elect. You know, starting from the apostles and elders of Great Millstone and the affiliates, man. You know, it says the name of the Lord shall be delivered. So if you ain't got the names of Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, you're calling some any other names, any other false idol, you know, type names and all that, you know, JC and so on and so forth. If you ain't calling the true names of the Father and the Son in the ancient Hebrew, you ain't going to be delivered, man. You know, because even certain men that call upon those names, if they're not part of the Lord's elect, they're not going to be delivered. So how much more, even more so, the actual elect, they have to have the name of the Lord in their mouth, written upon their foreheads and all that, as it tells you in Revelation 14. Only the elect are going to be able to call upon the name and they have the name of the Lord written in their foreheads. You know, it's that spiritual dawah. That means an exemption from judgment. In Ezekiel the 9th and the 4th verse. It says the elect are going to be delivered that call upon the name of the Lord. It says, for the Mount of Zion and in Jerusalem shall be deliverance. It says, as the Lord has said, and in the remnant whom the Lord shall call. So the remnant is who? The elect. So they're the only ones that's going to be delivered in these days, man. This is Amos 5:18. It says, woe unto thee woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. To what end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light, man. Yeah. And situations like this, that you know, the darkness that's, you know, clouding America right now, different states in America, LA in particular, you know, is indicative of the times, man. And that's part of the plagues as well. Just like in ancient Egypt, there was a day of darkness, thick darkness like that, man. You can read about that in the Book of Wisdom of Solomon. A thick darkness that was so dark that you couldn't even light a candle, man. It was so dark, and the Hamites was getting plagued with those plagues by Bashim Yahweh Shai, you know, while the rest of the Israel was basically chilling and not being affected by it. But the Hamites, you know, the modern day Egyptians at that time were getting plagued by the Lord. And this modern day Egypt, spiritual Egypt and Sodom is America, and that place is definitely going to be plagued with darkness, man, once again, because the Lord said in 2nd Ezra 15, he's going to send the plagues upon Egypt as he did before. Modern day Egypt talking about America. So that's indicative of the times, man, and the Lord is definitely plaguing, you know, Babylon the Great, because he's going to save the best destruction for last, man, which is ultimately going to be those nuclear missiles, man. So the Lord's going to, you know, put all his concentration on destroying Babylon the Great, man, economically, financially, you know, all of that good stuff, man. You know, ultimately, physically, man, you know, with violence. So the Lord said, thus with violence, so Babylon the Great be thrown down. Roughly paraphrasing. It says, shall not the day of the Lord, I will read verse 19, Salakia. As if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him, and or went into a house and leaned on his hand on a wall and a serpent bit him. Yes, so people are going to go from different diverse straits to another strait, man. They're going to go from dilemma to dilemma, and they're not going to be rescued, basically. It's just going to be a persecutions until basically the nuclear destruction, man. For the 2/3, none's going to escape, you know. None shall be delivered. And the Lord said he's not going to acquit the wicked, which is Esau, Edom, man. So these other nations and the 2/3 are going to be catching untimely hell, especially Jacob in the time of Jacob's trouble. For you, you know, infidels out there that's trying to say that Jacob's trouble's not going to come or it's past already, you ain't seen nothing yet, man. This is the beginning of sorrows, as the scripture says. It says, shall not the day of the Lord be darkness and not light, even very dark and no brightness in it? Exactly, because the spirit, even the chariots of the Lord are going to block out the sun, as well as the nuclear missiles, man. You know, so that day, the day of the Lord is going to be very dark indeed, man, because the Lord's going to encapsulate this whole earth with his chariots and the angels, and then block out the sun and all that with the nuclear holocaust that's going to touch America and all that smoke that's going to go up, man. The torment, you know. So this is definitely, you know, a precursor to what's coming, man. Foreshadowing of the judgment of the great whore, man, that sitteth upon many waters, man. It's Isaiah 45:7. For people that are doubting that this is not the works of the Father. It's Isaiah 45:7. I form the light and create darkness. So the reason why there's blackouts in America right now is because the Lord's created that, man. You know, they even had a documentary years back, an American blackout, and people raging and going crazy because they couldn't get to resources and food and so on and so forth. So they started, you know, seditious behavior. There was looting and shooting, you know. They was robbing their neighbors. In that documentary, American Blackout, only came out recently, man. You know, late last year or a year before that. And brothers was talking about that. And look what's happening now. They got blackouts in America because of this California fire. They got blackouts now. You know, so this is a order ab chaos scenario right before our eyes, man. And the elites are going to use this to their fruition, basically, man, to their benefit, because they want to establish a new world order. You know, so we're in a time of great war, anarchy, chaos, and pandemonium, never seen before in the streets. It says, I have formed the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai does all of this, man. Amos, the 3rd chapter, tells you as well. Let me just get that real quick. And then I'll close out on Daniel's 12. Amos 3:6, shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in the city, and the Lord have not done it? Yes, so all this darkness and all these people going homeless and seditious and, you know, riotous behavior that's going to start upheavaling, uprisings of the people and all that. That's the judgment of the Lord, and it's evil because the word evil means a bad time. And even in 2nd Ezra 16 tells you, man, evils are gonna be multiplied in these last days, and people are gonna be confused. You know, they're gonna think that to themselves to be in good case, and even then shall evils multiply, man. So we're in a time of some great serious judgment. 2025 has already kicked off to a great start with the lightning strikes and so on and so forth, earthquakes in diverse places, Tibet and all of that. And now you got these wildfires in California, and they're saying it's going to be spreading to different places as well, St. Anna's and all this other shit. So these devils are working on the left hand side, but really it's Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai using Esau Edom to, basically destroy his own empire, man, ultimately. And he's going to be destroyed by his own wicked devices, which is going to be ultimately the nuclear missiles. So this is all the power of the Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. So let me just close out on one more scripture, just to push the point that the time of Jacob's trouble is definitely on the horizons. And you can read other precepts as well. Daniel 12:1, the heading says the time of the end. It says, and at that time shall Michael stand up, Michael the archangel, angel of war. It says the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people, which is who? Israel, the elect. And it says, and there shall be a time of trouble, Jacob's trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time shall thy people be delivered. Only the elect are going to be delivered, the remnant. Like it tells you in Joel, that call upon the name of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Every one that shall be found written in the book. So that time of trouble has not happened yet. We're coming into that time right now. And situations like this is definitely going to lead into that, man. In the blackouts in Los Angeles and all that, that's definitely going to lead into that. So we're in the times, man. So that's why the Lord said to watch as well as pray, man. Because things are definitely kicking off to a good start in 2025. We ain't even reached the end of January yet. Look what's happening, man. So we got to stay sharp, man. Stay circumspect. But anyway, with that, give all praises and glory to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Rakach Hadash, and shalom to the hopeful and sincere elect.